And from our studios in Oak Park to Hancock Stadium in Normal, we've got the 2A game coming up next. They're running a little bit late down there in Normal, so let's go to Tom Stocker and Steve Mays. Gentlemen?
All right, Steve, thank you very much. Now in the battle for 2A. We talked earlier, Steve, about this being a running ball game, but I think maybe the difference in this game could very well be the opportunity of one team maybe to put the ball in the air. The conditions really are the best we've had in years.
That's right, and this late in the season, you know, I got a feeling you're going to throw your whole playbook at the other team. Both these teams are run-oriented, but I expect to see a few more passes tonight. I think, or this afternoon. I think you're going to have to.
All right, Richmond-Burton, as we told you earlier, lost 3 games in midseason, scrapped their passing attack, and decided to go to the wing team. To do that, Steve, you've got to be able to have a pretty good running back.
That's right. That's Matt Zornstorf. The guy has 1,700 yards rushing. Unbelievable season. I mean, well, he has 1,100 yards. I'm speaking about the other running back, Moweaqua. Yes, he's a great running back. And, you know, let's don't forget about those linemen that are blocking for him. They've done a great job for him this year, too.
Although Richmond-Burton has a very small offensive line, they only have one lineman that weighs more than 200 pounds. Maybe the big key could be Mike Dennis, who is a number 2 tailback. He has been a big play man for them, but his durability could be in question.
He's a very versatile back for him. Can run the ball, can catch it a little bit. Like you said, he's not very durable, small guy, but they like to get the ball in his hands, and he's been very effective for him this year.
Meanwhile, Moweaqua Central A&M at 2A for the first time after their consolidation with Assumption during the offseason. And they come in here 13-0, knocking off the top 3 ranked teams in their class to get here. And obviously, they got to feel they come in here as the favorites.
Boy, you're coming in on a high after doing that, and led by Brad Kaufman. This is the guy that we wanted to talk about as 1,700 yards rushing. That's incredible. That's a career for a lot of people, and Brad has carried this offense and carried them to 13 wins.
But Ryan Hell threw for 2 touchdown passes in the semifinals, and they actually feel they may have to pass the ball a little bit more today to be victorious.
That's right. Let's don't forget about him. He's thrown for 1,200 yards, 16 touchdowns, so they can throw the ball. He's a nice complement to that running game.
But one thing may be about that more wide-open attack is that in the semifinals, Richmond-Burton held Toledo to -5 yards rushing for the game and allowed them past midfield only twice. So while we talk about Richmond-Burton's offense, maybe it's their defense that got them here.
That's right, and you did say for the game, that's -5 yards. That is incredible. A lot of teams would love to have a defense like that. They're not big, but they run to the football, they pursue very well, and they're coached well, too.
6 times Richmond-Burton has brought an undefeated team into the playoffs. This is the first time they are in the final game. Meanwhile, this is the first appearance in the finals for Moweaqua Central A&M. We are getting ready now for this 2A game. And in this game, Moweaqua Central A&M against Richmond-Burton. And so in a few moments, in fact, let's go ahead now. Let's go down to public address announcer Steve Adams, and we'll meet our starting lineups for the 2A championship game.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's meet the coaches and players for this 2A state championship game featuring the Rockets of Richmond-Burton and the Raiders of Central A&M of Moweaqua. First, introducing the starting defensive lineup of Richmond-Burton, here is the head coach, J. Randy Hoffman. And now the starting defensive lineup at left end, number 67, B.G. Hunter. At left tackle, number 33, Jeff Harris. At right tackle, number 65, Tom Jastrud. At right end, number 23, Lucas Demlow. At linebacker, number 14, Frank Pauley. At linebacker, number 35, Brian Stedman. At linebacker, number 44, Jody Swiderski. At defensive back, number 22, Matt Zarnstorf. At defensive back, number 38, Eric Rasmussen. At defensive back, number 40, Mike Dennis. And at safety, number 81, Jeff Toller. Those are the Rockets of Richmond-Burton High School. And now, let's meet the starting offensive lineup for Central A&M. The head coach is Mark Ramsey. At left end, number 86, Brandon Barnes. At left tackle, number 74, Josh Patrick. At left guard, number 56, Aaron Dial. At center, number 52, Eric Forlines. At right guard, number 51, Jason Burkhart. At right tackle, number 72, John Garhold. At right end, number 81, Chad Houchins. At quarterback, number 11, Ryan Helm. At halfback, number 40, Brad Kaufman. At flankerback, number 82, Brandon Etherton. And at fullback, number 33, Tim Thresher. Those are the Raiders of Central A&M High School.
Down here on the field, we're looking at winds that are not as tough as they were in the Class 1A game played earlier this morning. We look up at the flags, and you see they're barely moving, so we'll call it northwest winds at about 5 miles an hour for this Class 2A game, and it's actually gotten a little warmer. I don't know if we're going to see the sun at all today, even though it's still very cloudy. It seems to have pitched up more toward around 38, 40 degrees here down on the field, although still very bright. Now, as we look first off at where these teams came from, let's look at Richmond-Burton High School. They're from the northeast corner of Illinois. The Rockets of Coach J. Randy Hoffman, right up there near Waukegan. And the Moweaqua Central A&M Raiders of head coach Mark Ramsey are from Central Illinois, down the southeast of Springfield, Illinois. So two different parts of the state. And the Richmond road to the final, you saw they did not score a lot of points, except 35 points in one game. So their offense goes out and gets just enough. Their defense does a lot of the work. And for the Raiders of A&M, well, they too also play with a great defensive game, but a team that can run the football, as you'll see a lot here this afternoon. And now let's send it back upstairs to Tom and Steve.
All right, Joe, thank you very much, as it will be Moweaqua Central A&M receiving the football to start this 2A title game. And teeing it up for Richmond-Burton is Jeff Christensen down there at the 40-yard line. In fact, considering the wind we've had here the last couple of years, which has whipped at in excess of 30 miles an hour at times, this is getting to be almost downright tropical. Of course, it's easy to say that when you're up here in the booth. Christensen now tees up the football. You know, it's interesting to take a look and see how Richmond has allowed just 6 points each to their opponents in the playoffs. We talked about their offense. Their defense definitely carried them here.
That's right. You win most football games with that defense, and Richmond-Burton has one of the best in 2A. There's no doubt about that.
Brandon Barnes and Brad Kaufman back to receive. Kaufman takes it at about the 17. And he is up to about the 33-yard line. On the stop was Lucas Demlow. And so the Raiders will set up shop 1st and 10 at their own 33-yard line with Ryan Helm at quarterback. He runs the option well. His throwing has improved through the course of the season. But his passing has definitely given Moweaqua Central A&M a multi-dimensional attack that you usually don't see down at the lower levels. 1st and 10 as they run out of the I. On the option, that's Kaufman, and he is upended at the 35-yard line. An acrobatic flip as he was taken off his feet by the inside linebacker, Frank Pauly.
We were talking about the fact that we're going to see the option a lot here. First play, we see that, and look at that pursuit by Richmond-Burton. They're known for their defense, and they show it right there on the first play.
Now, as this team, according to Coach Hoffman, is playing like the Richmond-Burton defensive teams of years past. They hold 2 IHSA defensive records, 2nd and 7. Straight up the middle to about the 39-yard line. And it'll bring up 3rd down and short. Take a look with Helm at quarterback. Tim Thrasher is at fullback. Hoffman and Etherington running in there at halfbacks. The ends, Barnes and Houchins. Barnes has 35 catches so far this year. There's the offensive line that has pretty good size. Patrick at 235 and Gerhold, the other tackle, at 215.
Talking with Mark Ramsey, the head coach of Moweaqua. They want to establish that fullback, so we should really keep an eye on that today. Tim Thrasher, number 33, will carry the ball a lot today.
3rd down, and they're going to put the ball in the air, and it's a 1st down for Moweaqua Central A&M at the 44-yard line. On the reception, Jay Giles, a 6'2 junior. On the tackle was linebacker Jody Swiderski.
We talked about Ryan Helm in our pregame. One-step drop right there. He shows he can throw it. It flutters out there a little bit, but it's a nice completion and picks up the first down from Moweaqua.
Always feels good as a quarterback to get that first one completed. It's a little short route like that one.
As long as it goes to the guy in the same color jersey as you have, you're very happy.
1st and 10 from the 44. And with an alley, it's Tim Thrasher, the fullback. He is stopped by Mike Dennis, but not until he gets onto Richmond-Burton's side of the 50-yard line of the 49, a pickup of 7. Take a look now, the defensive line for Richmond-Burton, not a lot of size. 205, B.G. Hunter's the biggest guy they got. He's the only one over 200 pounds. With the linebackers, Paulie, Stedman, and Swiderski. The secondary, as Sarnsdorf, Rasmussen, Dennis, who's got great speed, and the strong safety is Toller. On 2nd down and short, twisting up down to the 44-yard line was Kaufman, and Jody Swiderski, who's been the best defensive player the last few weeks for Richmond-Burton, makes the stop, and they will have to bring the sticks in to see whether or not they'll get a fresh set of downs. It's just inside the 44.
That was a favorite play right there that Moweaqua will run, a little isolation, give Kaufman the ball very deep in the backfield and let him make his moves, and we'll see what this measurement says. Did he get the first down or not? The official gives it to him, yes.
They get the first down, a fresh set of downs, and spotted make that inside the 46-yard line of Richmond-Burton. So twice they've been able to get first downs on this opening drive that began back at their 33-yard line. Moweaqua Central A&M with the football early in the first quarter, the 2A championship. Just over 9 minutes to go in the first quarter. That's Kaufman trying to pick his way through, but sealing up the hole was B.G. Hunter, the inspirational, enthusiastic leader of the Richmond-Burton defense. He makes the stop.
That Brad Hoffman for A&M is a heck of a running back. The kid is only 155 pounds, but expect him to carry it about 30 times, so he's very durable, and he's an excellent back for them.
The wideouts, Jay Giles is wide to the right, and Brandon Barnes, their leading receiver, is wide to the left with backs and nigh on 2nd down and 8. Off the play action. Now I'm going to put it up, and it's caught out of the 25-yard line. He threw into double coverage, and hauling it down was the tight end, Chad Houchins, making his 14th reception of the year. Jeff Toller, the free safety, brought him down.
Little play action right here by Ryan Helm, quarterback. Sees his tight end over the middle. Pretty well covered right there. Throws it up in the air. But Houchins makes a great recovery on the ball and catches that ball. There's the throw of Ryan Helm right on the target to keep this drive going down to about the 26.
They had a linebacker on him off the tight end. Swiderski was covering, but couldn't get the arm in there to break up the pass. It's a gain of 18. 1st and 10 from the 26. Slant off the left side. That is Tim Thrasher, the fullback. Doesn't have great speed, as most fullbacks really. That's the reason why they're usually fullbacks. But he can find a crease and get you your 3 yards.
Very important to the offense for A&M, though. He's got a tailback back there, Brad Kaufman, that has 1,700 yards, and he's responsible for a lot of those with very good blocking.
So it's 2nd down at the 22-yard line. First drive of the game for Moweaqua Central A&M. An impressive opening drive. A little inside misdirection. The handoff goes to Neil Barding, 2nd-string fullback, who also plays some flanker and is also the 2nd team tight end. And he's able to get it to the 21-yard line, picked up only a yard. Here's a key 3rd down coming up.
First key play of the game right now. It could be 3rd and long. Let's see if Moweaqua goes back to the air. Ryan Helm has been very successful, 2 for 2 so far.
This will be the 10th play of this drive that began back on Moweaqua Central A&M's 33-yard line. Drive that's taken nearly 5 minutes so far. Helm's going to put it up, and there's going to be pass interference, flags all over the place as Barnes was pumped before the ball got there. Jeff Toller, the free safety, just couldn't lay back long enough, and he draws the flags. No doubt about it.
Ryan Helm right here at quarterback spots his favorite receiver, Brandon Barnes, coming across the middle. Jeff Toller, free safety, just a little too anxious on that ball, tries to go through him and gets called for the penalty.
So it'll be half the distance.
For a defensive pass interference on the defense, half the distance to the goal, first down.
By the way, our referee for this game, Gene Fowler of Oak Forests, with Garrick Abrizian, the back judge, Thomas Bale, the umpire, John Jennings, the line judge, and John Pirro, the linesman. 1st and 10 on the 10. Another quick inside handoff to the fullback. Getting just a couple of yards, as carrying the ball was Tim Thrasher. And he got just a couple of yards. They're trying to keep the middle of that Richmond-Burton defense honest.
That's right. I'm very surprised that Richmond-Burton hasn't gone to their goal line defense. They're staying in that base 5-2 that they run. The ball is inside the 10-yard line. I would expect to go to that goal line defense here shortly. 2nd down.
There's Kaufman. And he is corralled at about the 8-yard line. No gain, looks like, on the play. Jody Swiderski was one of the first Richmond-Burton Rocket defenders to get there and corral him as they try to get it outside. Raz Rasmussen also in there to help make the stop for Richmond-Burton. It'll be 3rd down. In fact, they lost a yard. It'll be 3rd and 9. And it looks like they could get a 1st down without crossing the goal line.
That's right. It's going to be very close. It's about a foot inside of the goal line, so I think they're going to throw it in the end zone here.
Half the first quarter is gone already on this one drive. Helm's going to throw. Timing pattern into the corner, and it's incomplete. He's out of the end zone. Brandon Barnes went airborne to try to haul it down. Right along with him was the free safety Toller, but he came down out of bounds, and it'll be 4th down coming up.
This is really a great call right here by Moweaqua. Brandon Barnes stands 6'3". He's out on there on a corner that's about 5'10". Throw the ball in the air. Ryan Helm just happens to throw that one a little too long, and Brandon Barnes can't keep it in bounds.
So it's 4th down from the 9-yard line. Now John Gerhold has tried one field goal, but they're gonna go for it early in the game. Under 6 minutes to go in the first quarter. From the 9-yard line, it's 4th down. That's Kaufman going in motion. Quick out to Barnes, gets the block, and he's in for the touchdown. Great kick out block by the tackle Josh Patrick to spring Barnes free for his 13th touchdown of the season. And Moweaqua Central A&M, an impressive first drive, scoring on 4th down.
What a great call right here. You'll see the flanker screen to Brandon Barnes. Josh Patrick, the big lineman, get out there in front of him. That was really a nice call by Moweaqua. We'll get the chance to see it here. Also a very nice throw by Ryan Helm there. 3-step drop. Look at that ball right on the line. And there you see 74 Josh Patrick get out there with a nice block. And Brandon Barnes gets in for the first 6 points.
And the point after is no good. Looks like it may have hit an upright.
It sure did. Hit the right upright.
So Moweaqua Central A&M scores on its first drive. Back with more of the 2A title game after this. An impressive way to cap off the first drive of the game, scoring on 4th down.
Really took a chance right here. Had about 6 yards to go, and Ryan Helm, I mean, he throws a bullet out there to his favorite target, Brandon Barnes. Pretty much walks in untouched to get Moweaqua up 6-zip.
But Jeff Christensen, who is 3 of 5 on the year on point afters, had a chance. They put it off the upright. He just pushed it off to the right side. And it's a 6-0 lead. Take a look. That drive going 67 yards, 14 plays, 6 minutes, 16 seconds. Any answers to the question? An answer right there to the question if Moweaqua Central A&M can grind it out.
I think Moweaqua accepted that challenge of going against a very good Richmond-Burton defense. They took it right down the field and scored.
Kick taken by an upman, and he's all the way up to the 43-yard line as Joe Pardee, check that, Brian Stedman was able to return it and get it in good field position after a 16-yard return. We take a look at the starting lineup for Richmond-Burton on the offensive line. First the backfield with Christensen, of course, at quarterback. Pauly at fullback along with Zarnsdorf, Swiderski, and the ends, Toller and Harris. And there's an offensive line with only B.G. Hunter weighing over 200 pounds in that line. First down from the 44-yard line, up the middle. That is Frank Pauly, and he pops a big gainer all the way into Moweaqua Central territory to the 47-yard line.
We talked about the wing tee, but right here, Richmond lines up in a little bit of an I formation, and look at that hole open up. Picks up 9 yards, so it'll be faced with 2nd and short.
What will Christensen do? He's a 6-foot junior with may be considered by some a free play on 2nd and short. He gives it on around at Zarnstorf, and he is stopped shy of the first down on a good tackle by Brad Kaufman, and also the drop side linebacker Brandon Barnes making a good stop. As you take a look at, they run out of a 5-2 defense with Barnes, Gerhold, Thrasher, Weekly, and Simpson across the front five. The linebackers are Houchins and Burkhardt. The secondary, Helm, the quarterback, plays both ways with Wall, Kaufman also playing in the secondary, and Neil Barting. It'll be third down coming up. 4 minutes, 45 seconds to go. They're going to measure. He may have gotten the first down on the initial progress of the play. Let's see as they stretch it out. No, they're going to give him inches shy, just outside the Moweaqua Central A&M 46-yard line. So a key third down here for Richmond-Burton's offense. And again, see if they're able to take it right up the gut against that heavier Moweaqua defensive line. Keeping it is Christensen, and he has the first down.
It's a very good call right there on third and short. Don't hand that ball off. Just keep it in the quarterback's hands. Let him fall forward. Nice offensive line surge, and they got it by plenty.
Well, not bad when you got 195, 170, 205, 190, and 195 across your offensive line. Not tremendous size, and you're outmatched just a little bit there in the trenches.
I'll tell you, Richmond-Burton's offensive line may not be that big, but they're very quick, and they stay down low on their blocks, and they're having some success here.
On first down, once again, running play up the middle, as Pauly gets the call and gets a couple of hard-earned yards to the 41-yard line. He picks up about 4. Brad Kaufman, the quarterback, makes the tackle. First drive of the game for Richmond-Burton. Whichever team here is able just to keep possession and keep the football and grind it out. Both teams want to establish possession. The sweep to Zarnstorf. Cuts it inside. Gets the first down. And he's inside the 30 to the 29-yard line before Kaufman finally stopped him. Boy, did he have quick acceleration as he cut back inside against the flow.
That's right. That's Matt Zarnstorf's best asset right there. Gets it outside, but look at this acceleration once he sees the hole. Upfield, the kid runs north and south, and he's not a big guy, but he's a very splashing type running back.
20, making a 12-yard run to the 29-yard line. Dennis is in the backfield along with Pauly. Pauly dives over the middle. On a 1st and 10, he went over the top of the line like it was a short yardage situation. Josh Weekly, the sophomore defensive tackle, who doesn't look like a sophomore, at 245 pounds, makes the stop.
I'll tell you, Moweaqua was really bringing up their linebackers. They're pretty much playing an 8-man defensive line right now, just forcing Richmond-Burton to think about passing, but I don't think we'll see much of it out of Richmond-Burton.
From the 27 at 2nd and 8. As they move there, Dennis to the wingback. And Dennis gets the call on the reverse, and he is tripped up. The Moweaqua Central defense stayed home as Zarnstorf handed off to Dennis, and he couldn't spring outside.
This is what Richmond-Burton likes to do with Mike Dennis there out of the wing. Get him on a little misdirection. He's had a lot of success with it, but Moweaqua smelled that one out and stuffed it.
Not a surprising play for a team that may be having the disadvantage in terms of size.
That's right. You're not going to get away with running up the middle very often, so you got to go more on the outside, as they showed right there.
In motion is Pauly. Zarnstorf is the single setback on 3rd and 10. And here is Zarnstorf following and blocking well to the 20. And he's tripped up. Saving the tackle was Brad Kaufman. He saved a certain touchdown, and Zarnstorf again showing that quick acceleration and the way he's able to cut back. And he gets a first down at the 12-yard line.
I'll tell you, does this kid like to play football or what? You can't even see him in there. He's such a tiny little back. But once again, north and south, and he picks up a great first down to keep the drive alive to about the 12-yard line.
That's a gain of 17. And it's first down at the Moweaqua Central 12. We were talking about this maybe being a defensive game. Wow. Under 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. That has flown by. Ball is loose on the ground as it is fumbled. And looks like Richmond-Burton recovered it. Looked like Zarnstorf fell on the ball. John Gerhold also in there defensively for Central A&M. It's back at the 14-yard line. They lost a couple.
Not a situation right here that Richmond-Burton likes to be in. Second long, they really don't have the passing attack to go after Moweaqua. They're forced to run the football, and this is not a situation you like to be in.
Ever since they christened their new field at Richmond-Burton, they have been undefeated. And they're here in the final game at 2nd and 12. There goes Zarnsdorf, gets outside. Can they get him? Touchdown! A 14-yard touchdown run, and nobody was near Matt Zarnsdorf, who gets his 7th touchdown of the year. And now you see why some of the Richmond-Burton opponents have considered him the MVP of this team.
I'll tell you, just a little delay right there by Matt Zarnsdorf, and once he gets on the outside, he's just unstoppable. Moweaqua got caught inside on a little stunt, and Matt ran in untouched for the touchdown to tie this football game up.
Now they usually go for 2, and especially now with a chance to take a 2-point advantage, they're going to go for it here since it's tied at 6 right now. Pauly and Dennis are in the backfield. But Christensen's going to throw, and it's good for 2. The catch made by Pauly. Came out of the backfield. Nobody came close to him. They were expecting run. Obviously, Central playing run all the way. And it's 8-6. Richmond-Burton has taken the lead. They score on their first drive of the afternoon.
I'll tell you, wouldn't you know, we talk about defense all afternoon, and both teams go right down and score. That was a great drive by Richmond-Burton. It showed a lot of character to come back after going down 6-0 to bounce right back and go up 8-6 now. We'll get a chance to see the call here on the 2-point extra point. And Jeff Christensen throws a strike out there to Frank Pauly. Frank just ran untouched into the flat.
So we have a 2-point ball game. As Richmond-Burton says, all right, you score in your first drive, they'll come right back and take it from their own 44, and they lead with, you see how quickly this first quarter has gone with this running game.
That's right. We talked about Richmond-Burton, but they're not a one-man team. You know, they got Frank Pauly's had 300 yards, Zarnsdorf had 1,100, and Mike Dennis, you know, you throw him in there, he's had 740 yards. So they got a lot of running backs.
Christensen in to kick off once again with Barnes and Kaufman back deep for Central A&M. Short kick. And finally picking it up was Barnes. Everybody came to the football. He tried to get outside, but he is pulled out of the 24-yard line by Jody Swiderski. Oh, he nearly was able to get outside as with the ball on the ground. Everybody was coming to the football. Let's take a look. 10 plays, 56 yards, 4 minutes and 36 seconds on that drive.
Well, 2 drives, 2 touchdowns. You know, eats up pretty much of the first quarter. So we got a minute 4 left. Let's see what Moweaqua was able to do.
1st and 10 from the 24. The handoff goes to Thrasher, straight ahead through the right side to about the 28-yard line. Tom Jastrab, defensive right tackle, in there on the stop, along with B.G. Hunter, the 6-foot senior.
Gain of 3, 2nd down and 7. The ball's at the 27-yard line.
Well, it's obvious that Richmond-Burton won't do what it did against Aledo in the semifinals, holding the 5 yards rushing. Who's going to give? Which defense is going to give first? That's what remains to be seen. It's 1st and 2nd down now from the 27. Nice catch made by Chad Houchins, the tight end, and he is up to the 38-yard line. Toller and Dennis finally bring him down.
I'll tell you right now, I am very impressed with this Ryan, 175-pound senior. He's shown he can throw the football a little bit. This is his 3rd completion right there. And look at that nice grab by Houchins to pull that one in for another 1st down for Moweaqua.
From the 38, it's 1st down. Off the play action, he pitches it out to Kaufman. Great one-on-one tackle by Mike Dennis. He stayed home as the first quarter comes to an end here in the 2A title game at Hancock Stadium.
At the 40-yard line.
We'll be back with what should be a dynamite second quarter after we take this time out. The state championships coming your way on Sports Channel. Getting ready for the second quarter. Tom Stalker, Steve Mays with you here on Sports Channel. The 2A battle, which is, tell you what, it's been impressive. Both teams have moved the ball well with impressive ground games, though again, Moweaqua with that little extra dimension of being able to throw the football.
That's right, and we just showed a good shot of the fans from Moweaqua. They had 1,600 tickets they were going to sell to their fans. They sold those out in a half hour. That'll tell you how much excitement this football game has generated in that community.
Central A&M has it second and 8 at their own 40-yard line. We begin the second quarter. Helm, quick out pattern, caught by Barnes, and he's hit immediately at the 45 by both Swiderski and Toller. Just a quick out pattern to the 46. They get 6 yards, bringing up 3rd and short.
Richmond-Burton's really showing a lot of respect to Brandon Barnes, having to play off of him 2 or 3 yards. And Ryan Helm is sensing that. He's just going to throw to him all day till they come up and cover him.
And then probably send him deep in a fly pattern or a post pattern.
That's right. He's shown the speed. He can. Brandon Barnes can go deep. I expect to see that a couple times this afternoon.
No punts yet in this game. Neither defense has been able to stop the other team's offense. 3rd and 2. Hoffman trying to spin for the first down, but they wrap him up, and I don't think he has it. Good stop by B.G. Hunter. And he also got some help by Zarnstorff, who came up from the cornerback position, and it looks like it's going to be 4th down and about a yard to go.
That was a great hit right there by 67 B.G. Hunter, kind of the emotional leader for Richmond-Burton's defense. He's got him jacked up right now, forcing a 4th and about 2 yards for Moweaqua A&M.
Well, their punter is also in the offensive line, 72 Gerhold, but he is not in punt position now. It's 4th and 1 at the 47 for Central A&M. And somebody got in the neutral zone. And let's see, where they drawn up. It's offsides, Richmond-Burton, and it's a 1st down.
Boy, if you're a coach, you hate to see this. You give it to them the easy way. You don't want to do something like that where you jump off sides and give them that 5 yards.
Looked like the left tackle Harris was the one that penetrated the neutral zone. Wow. 1st and 10 now as the ball is in Richmond's territory at the 48-yard line. Early in the second quarter, 10.5 minutes to go. It is 8-6 in favor of Richmond-Burton. The fullback Thrasher finds no room at all, trying to go off left side. B.G. Hunter really stopped up that gap and held him to no gain, maybe a loss of a yard.
It's a good look of B.G. Hunter right there. Is that guy emotional or what? He's got everybody jacked up, and Moweaqua was not going to have much success running his way, I don't think.
Well, Coach Hoffman says it's tough to run against us. Genoa Kingston had to throw 30 times in the playoffs. 2nd down. And call it 10. It's Etherton going in motion. On a counter play. Oh, what a stop. As Kaufman had his eye on a hole through the right side, but he was stopped dead in his tracks by the linebacker Brian Stedman, their 2nd leading tackler.
That's right. Brian Stedman comes in here like a missile. You'll see him. And look at this hit. Nice hit on Kaufman. Stops him short.
So they lose a yard that time. It's 3rd and 11 at the 49. Richmond-Burton really moving around on defense there. Helm back. He's being chased. Dropped the football. Moweaqua Central recovers, but it's all the way back at their own 41-yard line. They lose 10 yards. Looked like Josh Patrick fell on the football, but Harris, I believe, was the one that stripped the ball away from Helm as he was running for his life.
That's right. Well, it kind of looks like that was a bootleg. At first, he looked like he was just going to drop back straight, and we'll see the ball stripped out, and Ryan Helm drops that one on the ground. Luckily, they recovered it and will be forced to punt.
Eric Schuster is their punter, not Gerhold. Gerhold kicks field goals for Central A&M, and he just gets it away. Fair catch called for by Dennis, and he takes it at his own 31-yard line. 8 minutes and 36 seconds left to go in the first half. Let's go down to our sideline man and Joe Passion.
Down in the sidelines, you'll see in the back of the helmets of the Raiders are those skull and crossbones. Well, those are rewards for big plays for the linemen, setting up a big play for a running back or a receiver, and of course touchdowns for the skilled positions. It keeps their heads warm on the sidelines of this game here.
And so it's at the 31 for Richmond-Burton out of the Big Northern Conference. Trying to slice his way around left side is Zarnstorff. And so far, Steve, looks like Zarnstorff has been favoring the left side.
He really has. He likes to run that way. The little power eye right there. Give ball to Zornstorff as deep as you can and let him do his thing. Was only able to pick up 2, but he's ran the ball very effectively so far this afternoon.
Gain of a couple. It's second down and 8 yards to go. It is 8-6, and Richmond-Burton, who has the lead right now, has the football. As Jeff Christensen, he's back to throw. Now he's running for his life. And he makes a great gain out of it all the way up to the 41-yard line, and he's close to the first down. Chased out of bounds by the linebacker Chad Houchins and the defensive end Brandon Barnes.
Jeff Christensen does 2 good things right here. Avoids the pass rush, as you can see the pocket kind of collapsing around him. And look, a smart kid right there. Switch the ball to the other hand. Pick up, we got down near the first down, be third and very short.
And I think they're going to perhaps bring in the change. Maybe not. No, it's going to be short. It's inches shy of the yardage needed for the first down. So it'll be third down and inches for Richmond-Burton. Under 8 minutes to go. Second quarter action, the 2A state championship. On the long count, that's Hawley going over the top and gets the first down. Tell you what, you got to give credit to that small but spunky offensive line for Richmond-Burton. They have been able to hold their own in the trenches.
They really have. It seems like they're spreading their splits out a little bit and really staying after Moweaqua and opened some very nice holes for the running backs so far.
So a fresh set of downs for Richmond-Burton. There's Zarnstorff trying the right side. Boy, they got to get about 3 helmets on him to bring him down as he finally goes down just across the 45-yard line, gets about 3 or 4 yards. Nathan Wall and the free safety Neil Barding combined to make the stop. Barding, their second leading tackler. Normally that's not good, but he makes a lot of those tackles at the line.
That's right. You got a person like him making them at the line or behind the line. You don't mind that he's the second leading tackler.
Well, it's 2nd and 6. Well, they got everybody in tight. Swiderski's the wingback. The give to Zarnstorff, cuts back. He's still able to make something out of nothing as he just has that great balance. It is very tough to knock him off his feet, and he gets it up to the 49-yard line. It'll be third down.
Penalty flag on the play. Let's get a chance to see what this call is going to be. It's in the backfield of Richmond-Burton.
Could be an early motion or an illegal shift. 6:58 to go, second quarter, 8-6. Richmond-Burton has the ball and the lead. And let's pick up the call on this penalty, one of the few we've had so far in this ball game. Looks like it may be a hold.
Quit holding on the offense, 10-yard penalty from the infraction.
So they move the ball back to the 32-yard line. And so it'll be second down and looks like about 20 yards to go. Second and long, and this obviously looks, well, fumble, but Zarnstorff gets it to bounce right back to him. Look at him go. He may go all the way. He stepped out of bounds at the 45. He stepped out of bounds on the near sidelines at the 45. Gerhold was there, but I'll tell you what, the uncanny knack of Matt Zarnstorff of making something out of nothing has been a big plus.
That's right, kind of a broken play right here. You'll see Zarnstorff drop the ball on the ground trying to hand it to Mike Dennis, but he gets outside of pursuit and almost takes that one all the way. Steps out of bounds right there and will face third and about 8 yards.
So it's up at the 44-yard line. It is third down and about 8 yards to go, and looks like Richmond-Burton wants to talk it over. And we'll take a break as well as we're midway through the second quarter with Richmond-Burton leading by 2 in the battle for the 2A state championship. Good to have you with us here on the day after Thanksgiving. A big weekend of football action here at Hancock Stadium as we crown 6 state championships through the course of the weekend. Richmond-Burton bringing a huge crowd from up north. Not a bad afternoon. It's third down and 8. from the Rockets' 44-yard line. That's Sarnsdorf going in motion. And Christensen putting it up for grabs. A rainbow. Can Dennis get to it? And who won the battle? It's incomplete. It was jump ball at the 25-yard line between Dennis and the cornerback Nathan Wall.
This was anybody's balls. We'll see right here. Mike Dennis makes a nice play on the ball, as does number 7 there from Moweaqua, Nathan Wall. That ball goes incomplete as you see it laying there on the AstroTurf.
Both going up for the football. Any contact is legal, and that ball really way too much air underneath it. So it's 4th down. And so it looks like Richmond-Burton will punt for the first time as Mike Dennis is back to punt. He has averaged just around 22 yards a punt. They haven't had to punt the football many times. Not a bad punt there. Taken by Ryan Helm. No, he'll let it bounce, and it still rolls. Tell you what, if one team is getting the benefit of a bouncing ball so far, it's been the Rockets of Richmond-Burton. They do lead 8-6. But now it looks like both teams have been able to adjust on defense.
That's right. That's a ball that Ryan Helm, number 11, should have caught right there. The ball was coming right toward him. He elected to see it bounce, and it took a bounce in the favor of Richmond-Burton.
So the ball is all the way back at the 14-yard line. A 42-yard punt for Dennis. So each team now is punted for the first time. 6:29 to go in the second quarter. 8-6. Richmond-Burton leads Moweaqua Central A&M. And the Raiders have the ball in their own 14. Tough inside play to about the 22-yard line. On the carry, the fullback Tim Thrasher, who has gained over 700 yards this season.
Moweaqua is very determined to set up that fullback running play. Tim Thrasher is banging away on the inside. He goes about 185. He's had some success this afternoon.
Well, that's one of their keys in today's game offensively, was to establish that fullback.
They think they had to. Everybody was going to be keying on Brad Kaufman. He does have 1,700 yards.
In and out of the hands of Brandon Barnes, who was open and running an out pattern there at the 23-yard line. Jeff Toller was covering, but Barnes just simply did not hang on to the football, and it'll bring 3rd down and 3.
That's right. You won't see that happen very often. Brandon Barnes dropping the football. That was another nice throw by Ryan Helm, right on the money.
Mark Ramsey, Moweaqua Central A&M. Ironically, the school they merged with, Assumption, twice knocked Moweaqua out of the 1A playoffs back in 85 and 87. Imagine merging with one of your rivals.
That's right. They're very glad they did.
3rd down. Helm is going to run the football. He is bumped out of bounds on the near side of the 18-yard line. Looked like Swiderski, the linebacker, knocked him out of bounds. They needed to get the ball up to the 24-yard line to get a fresh set of downs. So it looks like 4th down's coming up.
That's right. We'll see the defense of Richmond-Burton really string that one out. The defensive end forces the quarterback back inside, and Ryan Helm is not able to pick up the 1st down. As you see a nice hit as Ryan goes flying out of bounds.
Swiderski and Dennis there. So Dennis, who's supposed to have a durability question, is not afraid to hit either. Low punt. Dennis takes it at the 50, and Kaufman didn't let him get an inch farther. What a great open field tackle. Kaufman flew out of nowhere to flatten Dennis at the midfield stripe. Now this game, Steve, you're sensing is beginning to settle into a defensive battle.
That's exactly right. Brad Kaufman carries the ball a lot on the offense, but you also see strong special teams play right here. As you see number 40 come flying into your screen right here. Mike Dennis trying to get outside to the wall, but Brad Kaufman says no.
43-yard punt. Almost no hang time to it. It was a line drive rocket, but it's from the 50. Great field position for the Rockets of Richmond-Burton. They lead by 2. Sarnsdorf hit at the line, and that's the first time they've been able to stop him. Looked like Derek Simpson, the defensive end, the 6'2 senior, just wrapped him up and said, "You're not going anywhere."
The defenses have really stepped it up a notch. The defensive coaches for both teams seem to have made some very nice adjustments on the sidelines and put those into play, and the offenses have been struggling.
Under 5 minutes now for the first half. 2nd and 10 coming up from the 50. Sarnsdorf has been a big reason for Richmond-Burton's turnaround. Remember, they were 2-3 at one point. He gets the call again, finds a seam, and is able to hurdle his way to the 45-yard line and pick up 5. Ryan Helm, the strong safety. Also plays some free safety, makes the stop, bringing up 3rd and 5.
Richmond-Burton is very content on running the ball up the middle. Let's give a lot of credit to that offensive line. They are moving people out. You know, we'll be facing with a 3rd and about 4 yards right now.
Zarnsdorf averaging over 7 yards every time he's touched the football so far this afternoon. That was the first time they've been able to stop him. 3rd down. Zarnsdorf, they were blitzing and he flew right by the charging linebacker and was able to get close to the first down. It looks like he has the first down at the 40-yard line. Looked like they sent either the linebacker or the defensive end coming straight. They were keying on Zarnsdorf.
They really were. They did bring a linebacker there, and they brought an outside defensive end, Derek Simpson, 78, but Zarnsdorf just ran right through him and picked up the first down.
Under 4 minutes now for the second quarter. 8-6, Richmond-Burton with the lead. They fake that inside handoff. Putting it up is Christensen. It's incomplete inside the 20-yard line. They were looking for Toller. Nathan Wall covered him there, but it's obvious that if you compare the throwing ability of the two quarterbacks, Helm and Christensen looks like he throws a football when he has to.
That's right. He only threw the ball 100 times this year, as you'll see right there. Jeff Toller tried to go up and make a reception, but once again, good defense by Nathan Wall, number 7.
But they may have done that the last couple of times. You can see Central A&M cheating a little bit inside, trying to cut off Zarnsdorf inside.
Exactly. We noticed that a little bit earlier. They're playing that 7-8-man defensive line. They're going to have to throw the ball to open things up.
It's 2nd and 10. And that play stopped just as it gets underway. It looked like somebody got in the middle in the neutral zone there, and we'll sort out the flag.
Illegal procedure there on Richmond-Burton. That will back them up another 5, and they will be faced with 2nd and 15.
Dead ball, foul, false start on the offense. Still 2nd down.
2nd and 15 back at the 45. As it looks like Josh Weekly has come back in on the defensive line at tackle, taking over his starting spot. He's been alternating there with Josh Patrick. But there, Jeff Christensen, who has completed 41% of his passes this season, has accounted for 8 touchdowns. Play action fake there on 2nd and long. He finds Pauly. And he is down to the 35-yard line. Neil Barding, the free safety, finally put the brakes on him, but they get a first down.
What a confidence builder this has got to be for Jeff Christensen. Had a hard time throwing the football up until this point. Makes one of the most difficult throws for a quarterback, going to your left as a right-handed quarterback. Throws a strike to keep the drive alive for Richmond-Burton.
But they weren't throwing deep.
That's
where previously the deep passes just didn't look good at all. Gain of about 20 yards on that run. Down to the 25-yard line where it's 1st and 10. The toss goes to Dennis. He's trying to get outside. He slips and goes down back at the 28-yard line. Lost about 3. He had nowhere to go. Burkhart, Helm, and others were there for the Raiders of Central A&M.
One of the signs of a good defense is the pursuit. Right there on that play, you got to see Jason Burkhart, Chad Houchins, and all the linebackers running after the football. When you get 9 defensive bodies at the ball, it's hard to make any yards as an offense.
2nd and 13, back of the 28. They send Toller split way wide to the left side. Also got a wide out to the short side. That's Pauly going in motion. It's Zarnsdorf. He can't get away from John Gerhold, who wrapped him up for a loss on the play. They keyed on Zarnsdorf that time, and it paid off.
That's right. Zarnsdorf was the only running back in the backfield right there, and they know, hey, we can key on him, and we'll see a big hit right here as Zarnsdorf has nowhere to go. Look at that pursuit by the defense. You see 5 or 6 black jerseys around the football.
Great job by Gerhold playing through the block of the guard, Mike Warner, and pulled from the opposite side. 3rd and 16. Under 2 minutes now for the first half. 8-6, Richmond-Burton with the ball and the lead. Sprinting out Christensen. He wants to throw, and he threw it into heavy traffic. Didn't throw it well. He was running for everything he was worth as he was really being chased by Neil Barding and the linebacker Jason Burkhart. It'll bring up 4th down and long.
It was actually a good play by Jeff Christensen. Smart throw that one in the ground. The receiver was double covered. He was being chased very hard, as you see right there, by Neil Barding. Just throw that one away and go on to the next play. 4th and about 15.
1 minute and 43 seconds left to go in the second quarter. 4th down from back at the 31-yard line. This time they got everybody in tight. Christensen rolling out. Gets a block and gets the first down before Burkhardt hauled him out of bounds. He came rolling out, looked like he maybe wanted to throw, but it may have been a run all the way out of the tight formation. And he was able to get down the sidelines and get it all the way to the 14-yard line. He got 17 yards, a yard more than he needed. It's a first down.
I don't know if we'll get a chance to see this in the replay, but look at the block out here on the outside by number, is that 14, Frank Pauly? Look at him come into your picture. Oh, and let Jeff Christensen get down there near the first down. That was a crunching block.
That made the play possible.
No, it really did. He peeled back, saw that the pursuit was coming, peeled back, and made an excellent block.
Well, with plays like that, I can see why you love Jeff Christensen, as he gets a big first down, and the drive stays alive, and they're knocking on the door again at the 14. Minute 36 for the second quarter. Zarnsdorf. He is hemmed in by the cornerback Nathan Wall, who stops him at the 15-yard line, a loss of a yard, perhaps. That is the 11th play, by the way, of this drive.
I'll tell you, we've mentioned Nathan Wall, the defensive back, number 7 from Moweaqua, a lot this afternoon. He's been in a lot of plays on passing and on running defense, having an excellent first half for Moweaqua.
As you see in the corner of your screen, we're approaching the 1-minute mark for the quarter. And Richmond-Burton leading by 2, trying to add some more to their lead over Moweaqua Central A&M in the 2A battle. Nice fake by Christensen. Now what can he do with it after that? He's being chased, and the football knocked out of his hands, but it's out of bounds, and looks like the Rockets will keep the football. Burkhardt and Simpson in hot pursuit. As Randy Hoffman goes back to the playbook and said, that one didn't quite work, but I tell you what.
You'll see Derek Simpson, number 78, as a defensive end, really staying at home. And that blur coming into the picture right there put a nice hit on Jeff Christensen, the quarterback.
It is at the 12-yard line. Second down, make that third down. Third down, 8 to go. Swiderski is the lone wideout. Christensen rolls out in that direction. Throws short underneath for Dennis. Threw it behind him. He was covered by the linebacker Burkhardt.
Jeff Christensen would like to have that one back right there. He had Mike Dennis out in the flat, wide open. Just threw it a little bit behind him. But the only good thing about that, it kills the clock with 47 seconds left here in the first half.
Well, Central A&M scored its touchdown on a 4th and long. It'll be 4th down here. And we've got a timeout called by the Rockets of Richmond-Burton as Randy Hoffman walks out there. Hoffman has had 6 undefeated teams going into the playoffs over his career. He's in his 13th year at Richmond-Burton. In one 7-year stretch under him, Richmond-Burton was 60-3 in the regular season.
That has to be a record for Illinois. That is unbelievable for one program to have 60 victories and only 3 losses.
Now, Mark Ramsey is in his 10th year at Moweaqua Central, but of course the school consolidating. He was the head coach at Moweaqua. They've been in the playoffs for 8 consecutive years, all in 1A. But they consolidate with Assumption, and they find themselves here at the big dance. 4th down, 8 yards to go. The passing game's gotten a little better for Richmond-Burton. Do you maybe show a pass formation and come out of it running with Zarnsdorf?
Well, that's a good possibility. That's one of the options they're going to have right here. Or you're going to have to run some play action and get Jeff Christensen out on the corner so he can force that cornerback to make up his mind. Jeff Christensen is not a straight route back passer. I expect them to get him out on the outside here on the right flat.
It's 4th down from the 12. Play action fake to Pauly. He's putting it up for Dennis, who's all by himself. Touchdown, Richmond-Burton. He got behind Burkhart, the linebacker, and Dennis, who has been a big play man, mainly in a running role, averaging 8 yards a carry this year. That time shows, hey, I can catch the football too.
That's exactly right. We'll see the replay right here. Jeff Christensen, watch this pump fake. The DB really goes for that hard, and Mike Dennis turns it up. And that's an easy touchdown for Richmond-Burton. You think that kid's excited?
Hey, great play, the right call.
That's right. He's only thrown the ball, as we said, 100 times. And when you throw it like that, that is very nice for Richmond-Burton.
So right now it's a 14-6 lead for the Rockets. And since they missed for 2 the first time, odds are even more in their favor. They'll go for 2 again. But Dennis, called by Coach Hoffman a Gale Sayers type. Well, that time he looked more like a smooth wide receiver, Lynn Swan. Than,
like Lynn Swan or Jerry Rice or somebody. Just made that look very easy. And that was a great, great pump fake by Jeff Christensen.
In fact, Dennis called the secret weapon by his head coach. As Mark Ramsey now talks it over. He says, hey, guys, you can stop this 2-point try here. We're just 8 points down, just 1 score away, and still very much in this game. Moweaqua Central A&M had a 9-0 team in '89, losing to Girard in the first round, and the '86 team was 8-0, losing to Arcola. Steve Thomas's great team in the first round. We're going to go for 2 with 42 seconds left to go here in the first half. He's going to put it up again, or is he going to run? Christensen's got room to run. Can he get there? No, he is stopped at the 1-yard line. And it was Nathan Wall and Burkhart also over there. Oh, it looked like he had room to make it, but it closed up very quickly.
That's right. Jason Burkhart shows a lot of speed. Blows on Jeff Christensen to stop him about a yard short from that 2-point conversion.
So it's a 14-6 lead. And missed extra points factoring very much. As you see, they went 50 yards in 14 plays, taking nearly 5 minutes on the drive. Long drive. Drives of over 6 minutes, 4.5 minutes, and now nearly 5 minutes for the 3 scoring drives in this game. It's not surprising with 2 teams that prefer to run the football.
That's exactly right, but we've seen that both these teams are capable of throwing the ball a little bit and catching the football. They've done an excellent job mixing it up, and you expect that here in the state championship playoffs when you throw about your entire playbook at the other team.
Christensen will tee it up at the 40 with Brandon Barnes and Brad Kaufman back deep to receive. And we'll see if Moweaqua Central can open it up quickly with 42 seconds. There's a bouncing knuckleballing kick. It's anybody's ball. And it's finally fallen on back at the 31-yard line. Looked like it was David Nash who fell on the football, number 12. And they'll have a not bad field position to try for a quick strike here with just 38 seconds remaining before halftime. We've seen him. He's been able to throw now. How he's been able to throw deep this year will remain to be seen. We'll see just how good his arm is. I'm sure he'll try to air it out as he's got wideouts left and right. Barnes' favorite is wide to the right side. He's looking in that direction as he rolls up. Putting it up. Triple coverage. Incomplete. Triple coverage. Boy, they had Toller. They had Stedman. They had Swiderski. Might have been a popcorn vendor or 2 in there as well.
That's exactly right. A coach from...
Yeah, Barnes drew a lot of attention, obviously.
Very surprised that Ryan Helm threw that football. That's a dangerous pass there. You throw it down to about the 50-yard line for anybody to catch. If that ball's turned over, Richmond-Burton has a lot of time left here to get a score. You know, 16, 17 seconds, a pass, you know, maybe kick a field goal. That was a very dangerous play.
2nd and 10 with 16. Kaufman will carry the ball. Let's see if he can do on his own. He's still on his feet. Oh, he's finally brought down at the 48-yard line, Jeff Toller, and I think if Toller doesn't get to him, Kaufman's got a chance to go all the way.
That's right. He's 1 player away from breaking that one on a simple isolation play that you're just really trying to run out the first half, and Kaufman almost takes this the whole way. We'll get a good chance to see that. A little isolation there. Kaufman gets the ball very deep in the backfield. Richmond-Burton kind of over pursues here as Kaufman cuts back against the grain, and we'll see Toller grab a shoestring and hang on for dear life.
Just was able to knock him off his feet there. On the Central A&M side of the 50 as Mark Ramsey comes over to talk with his quarterback, Ryan Helm. Ramsey with a career record of 73-30 at Moweaqua and now Central A&M. When you first see that, you realize they've gone to agricultural mechanical school.
That's right.
No, but it's a combination of Assumption and Moweaqua, their consolidation.
A lot of good football being played down there in the south. Moweaqua and Arcola, Tuscola. It's a very good area for football.
8 seconds to go. Ball just on the Moweaqua side of the 50. Out of a spread formation, Helm rolls out. He had trips receivers to that side, and he's just going to run the football, and he's tackled at the 50-yard line by Lucas Demlo as the first half expires. And it's a 14-6 lead for Richmond-Burton. And I'll tell you what, you got to give the Rockets credit. They've been outsized in the trenches, but they have been able to control the football well. Only 2 punts in this first half. And first half characterized by possession football.
That's exactly right. You hit it nail right on the head. When you can control the football and control that clock, like Richmond-Burton did, you know, you're in control of your destiny, and they did a great job as they go up 14-6 here in the first half.
And also keeping the ball away from Ryan Helm and company.
That's right. You know, we haven't heard a whole lot of Brad Kaufman, and we've called his name a few times, but they are trying to keep the ball out of the possession of Moweaqua A&M. There's no doubt.
So Richmond-Burton falling behind early. As we'll be ready now, let's go down to the sidelines and Joe Passion.
Well, certainly you get a little offense there and toward the end of the second half, get you back up on top. Same type of offensive scheme in the second half?
Well, we hope so, Joe. You know, that's a very, very good football team we're going up against, and they, you know, that first drive they put together was a good one. We just hope we can make some adjustments defensively to stop them in the second half.
They're controlling the clock. Both teams had chances of doing that in the first half. How will you try and counter it back in your direction in the second half?
Well, it's tough because both teams like to run the ball, so it's really tough to stop the clock. But all we're just doing the best we can. We're a bunch of little guys with a lot of heart, and we hope we can do it.
Great, Coach. Have a great second half. Thank you very much. And we will send it back and come back with more of our halftime festivities here. But first, let's take this timeout. Welcome back down here on field level at Hancock Stadium on a brisk, cloudy morning. It has been an exciting morning going into the afternoon now of high school football championship action with the Rockets leading the Raiders here at the half, 14-6. And it has been a game that has had some very time-consuming drives. As we look at our scoring summary here of the first quarter, an 8-yard reception. That was actually a reception that Barnes caught for the 6-0 lead, although the kick failed. That was set up by a lengthy drive there in that first quarter, lasted over 7 minutes. Then in the second quarter, another lengthy drive. This time Zarnstorff comes in from 14 yards out, takes it in himself. Pauly, the 2-point conversion, puts the Rockets out ahead at 8-6. And then Dennis's 12-yard TD reception. You saw here just moments ago the PAT for the 2-point conversion failing, and an 8-point lead here at the half. And so with a 14-6 lead here at the break, 2 time-consuming drives. The interesting thing that we may find out in the second half, as we heard Coach Hoffman talk about, how do you counter a team that very much like yourself controls the football so much with such aggressive defensive play and run-oriented offenses? Well, as I think we saw here toward the latter part of the second quarter, you do it with the pass, and turnovers plays a big role in championship games like this. Now, coming up here at the half of our high school 2A game, Steve Cashel, the former Maine South Hawk, back at Sports Channel Report Studios, live coverage of other sporting events. And at the break here, it's 14-6, the Rockets leading the Raiders. We'll be back with lots more later on.
And welcome back. We are getting ready for the second half here of our 2A title game involving Richmond-Burton and Moweaqua Central A&M. And you see it's a 14-6 lead for the Rockets of Richmond-Burton, though it was Moweaqua Central A&M that drew first blood on their very first drive of the game.
They really did. You see number 11 right here, Ryan Helm. Drop back, a little screen out here to the left, really set up nicely And a good block there on the outside by Josh Patrick as Brandon Barnes goes in untouched. And the extra point was missed, so for a 6-0 lead.
But coming right back was Richmond-Burton on their first drive.
Exactly. A guy we really are impressed with is Matt Zarnsdorf right there. And look at the speed on the outside, and virtually untouched for the touchdown.
He had 3 big carries in the drive. They also go for 2.
And they have to go for 2. And Jeff Christensen, great catch by Frank Pauley. They go up 8-6.
And then just towards the end of the first half on a 4th down play,
we were really surprised that they go for it here on 4th and long. And Mike Dennis gets behind the defensive secondary, and that's 6 points.
He was wide open, and you can see the reaction from Ryan Helm as he found his man wide open, and it's 14-6 in favor of Richmond-Burton. Let's go down to the sidelines now, and Joe Passion.
All right, thanks very much, Tom. Coach Ramsey, at halftime, obviously some pass coverage adjustments to make.
Yeah, we just got to make sure that we keep the quarterback contained, and we got to get our linebackers flowing to the backside of the backfield and get them picked up. We didn't pick them up very well the first half. One advantage you had, a time-consuming drive at the outset of the game. How do you get that back? Yeah, well, we're just going to have to come out and play good defense here right at the start of the second half, and I think we get the offense going then. Good feeling about the team overall? Oh, yeah. Yeah, you know, we've come back in a couple games here in the playoffs, and we're hoping we can come back this half. All right, go get them, Coach. Thank you very much. And, of course, optimism always coming out of the locker room here for the second half. In the meantime, let's send it back up to Tom and Steve.
Well, they're certainly not out of it, only down by a score. We take a look and see how the first half shapes up statistically with Richmond-Burton. 2 scores, and they have the edge in total yards.
Exactly right. We see first downs pretty much even right there. Rushing yards, you know, pretty... Richmond-Burton has an advantage right there, but you go all the way down to the bottom, and time of possession, you know, with running teams, very equal, and something we expected.
But still, I might not have expected to see Moweaqua have the edge in time of possession.
That's right. A little more pass-oriented than a Richmond-Burton, and I got a feeling Coach Ramsey's going to come out and throw the football a little here in the second half.
Individually, Richmond-Burton's Matt Zarnsdorf had 65 yards in the first half with a touchdown. And Christensen was 2 of 6 passing for Moweaqua. Their leading ground gainer in the first half was Brad Kaufman with 27, 8 carries in the first half versus Zarnsdorf's 12. And Ryan Helm passing was 5 of 8 for 48 yards. That's where we are. We're at Illinois State University, Hancock Stadium in Normal, getting ready for the second half of our 2A title game in a few moments, right here on Sports Channel. How'd you like to have that for an offensive line? We're at ISU Hancock Stadium as we're getting ready for the third quarter, the 2A battle. Richmond-Burton will receive Moweaqua Central A&M. We'll kick it off here to begin our third quarter action. John Gerhold in to kick it off. Not a bad day. We've had colder days. We've had much windier days. But all in all, for football at the end of November, not a bad day at all. Game 2 of 6 championship games this weekend. Here's Gerhold with the kick. Comes near side to Swiderski. He runs to the middle of the field. He's going to keep going. Can he turn it? No, he is stopped cold at the 30-yard line. The first to get to him there for Moweaqua was Neil Barding. But Richmond-Burton begins the second half with a football. They posted 2 scores in the first half. They lead by 8. That was a 9-yard return for Swiderski.
That's right. Let's see if Moweaqua A&M makes the necessary adjustments that Mark Ramsey was talking about, getting his linebackers running to the football a little more and containing Jeff Christensen on the outside, the quarterback.
Going wide out is Jeff Harris out of their wing tee. Just a hitter up the middle. Frank Pauley, the 5'8", 145-pound senior, with the tackle. Eric Schuster makes the stop. Pauley missed the season opener and also separated a shoulder in the loss to Genoa Kingston during the regular season.
It's funny how those wounds heal when it's this late in the season. When you get to the state championship game, Frank Pauley wanted to play.
Neil Barding, you see the free safety, makes a lot of tackles at the line, reads the run and pass very well, and really plays kind of like another linebacker. 2nd and 5. Zarnsdorf, the man in motion, and again popping right up the middle to about the 40-yard line is Frank Pauley, or Swiderski. Check that. That's Rasmussen. They've got two Eric Rasmussens. They both have the same middle initial, but that is Rasmussen getting his first carry. He wears two different numbers, wears 47 with the white uniforms and 38 on the darks, as Raz gets his first carry. 3rd and short. They got a power I formation in the backfield. Everybody's in tight. And that's Pauly going over the top, and it's going to be close.
I think with that second surge that Frank Pauly made right there, the official's going to give him a good mark, and he made enough for the first down.
It looked like the linesman had him up to about the 42-yard line, enough for the first down. So this opening drive of the 3rd quarter stays alive for the Rockets of Richmond-Burton, coached by that man right there, Randy Hoffman.
One of the adjustments we're seeing from Moweaqua A&M are the linebackers stepping back off the line of scrimmage a little more, where in the first half they were pretty much on the line of scrimmage, but now we see them backed off about 2 or 3 yards reacting to the football.
Once again, Pauly, the fullback, just goes right up the middle. Pauly had 26 carries for 158 yards in a big early season win. He also had 2 touchdowns against Peoria Notre Dame, a team that was a state qualifier a year ago. And that made them 2-0, but they went and lost 3 straight after that.
That's unbelievable to go, beat a team like that who's in 4A and then lose your next 3. But it's even more impressive that they came back and won their next 8 to get them here.
2nd and 6 from the 46 for Richmond-Burton. Pauly gets outside. Just can't quite break a tackle, but he is able to get the first down as he drags Brad Kaufman. But not before he gets a fresh set of downs for the Rockets.
I like how Richmond-Burton's using Matt Zarnsdorf, number 22, as kind of a decoy right now. It's the Frank Pauly show here early in the second half, where Frank's really carrying the load for Richmond-Burton.
Kaufman, you saw number 40. He's had to do a lot of playing on defense. They haven't had the ball as much in his hands as they'd like to in that first half. That may change first time Moweaqua gets the ball. Again, they're just running it up the gut right now. And that's all the way down to the 40-yard line. A pickup of about 7 yards. Derek Simpson on the stop, and once again, Pauly, it's been his show, as you said, Steve. A 5'8", 145-pound senior.
They're really taking a lot of pressure off of quarterback Jeff Christensen, putting him in situations like this where it's 2nd and short. You don't want a kid with inexperience at quarterback being faced with 2nd and long. They've done an excellent job to this point.
They send Harrison Swiderski wide to the right side. Christensen nearly lost his balance. Now he's going to run. And he has the first down. Now it's to the 30. He may go all the way. Can he beat Ryan Helm? He's going to go for the touchdown. 40 yards. And his quarterback counterpart was the last man between him and the end zone, and Helm could not stop Jeff Christensen.
I'll tell you, Coach Randy Hoffman of Richmond-Burton could not be more impressed with the way Jeff Christensen has played. Look how many tackles he runs through. Jeff is not very fleet of foot right there, but as you said, Tom, he runs past Ryan Helm, the last tackler right there, to get into the end zone to give Richmond-Burton a 20-6 lead.
Also about the middle of that play, you saw 33 Jeff Harris pull back. He didn't want to risk the clipping call as he saw that Christensen had the yardage. 40 yards. And taking a timeout are the Rockets of Richmond-Burton. And here comes Coach Randy Hoffman. And talk about snap judgment, split-second decision-making. Christensen has been making the right decision all year long, not making mistakes. He lost his footing as he slipped and went down and said, forget the pass, let's go run.
That's exactly right. He's done that pretty much all season, especially when Randy Hoffman made the changes in his offense. He went, as you see the replay right here, and I'll finish my thought at the end of this. And boy, I'm really happy for Jeff Christensen to run this one in to give Richmond-Burton a 20-6 lead.
Stepped right inside of Ryan Helm, and Helm really didn't have a good shot at him.
That's right. I want to finish my thought a little bit about what Coach Randy Hoffman was telling us, that he thought he was giving Jeff Christensen, a young quarterback, too much to handle there in the first 5 games. So he just said, let's simplify it a little bit, and went back to the wing tee. And it has really produced results for him right now here in the championship game.
They stayed on the ground for all 69 yards of the scoring drive. But again, Richmond-Burton with a chance here to go up by 16 if they get the 2 point. and they want to make sure they were all on the same page of the playbook. Swiderski goes wide to the left. Everybody else is in tight with Pauly the fullback and Zarnsdorf the tailback. Fake to Zarnsdorf. And it's broken up. He just threw it behind the intended receiver, Toller. And breaking it up was the defensive end, Brandon Barnes. Barnes could have caught that and gone the other way. He just decided to go ahead and just break it up.
That's right. Knocked that one down and forced a kickoff by Richmond-Burton. But as the score remains 20-6, Richmond-Burton with a big lead.
Again, a 40-yard touchdown run by the quarterback, Christensen. And it's a 14-point margin for Richmond-Burton. Again, coming in here 10-3, considered by some kind of a wild card team. It's sort of equating it to a wild card team making it to the Super Bowl in the NFL. But I think what they built upon was the Richmond-Burton tradition that they've built up in the past, like that 60-3 7-year stretch back in the mid-'80s.
Exactly right. One of the very first seasons this year that they haven't been ranked at all. You know, here they come in and they make it to the state championship as an unranked team. You don't see that very often. Moweaqua comes into this game being ranked 6th in the state, and right now Richmond-Burton is thumping them.
So Jeff Christensen, the do-it-all kind of guy, will now kick it off for the Rockets. Taken at the 20 by Brandon. Barnes with a good return up to the 40-yard line before Eric Rasmussen makes the stop. Let's go back and take a look. That was a 21-yard return for Raz at the scoring drive that took 3.5 minutes. 40 of those yards coming on the touchdown run by Christensen. 7 plays in that 69-yard drive.
Well, Moweaqua has the offense that can come back from the deficit like that. They've shown they can throw the football. I got a feeling we're going to see a lot of that here in the second half, down 14 points.
Not bad field position from the 40 as Ryan Helm gets him in motion. Kaufman slips by 1 tackle. I think the fumble was created. Let's see. The ball apparently was loose, but I think it was caused when he made contact with the artificial surface as he picked up about 4 yards on the carry. Oh, they're going to give it to Richmond-Burton. We're going to want to take a look at that one again. It's the first turnover of the game. Ryan Helm pleading his case, but they're going to give it to the Rockets, and what a break.
It really is a very late call right here by the officials. We see the replay. Brad Kaufman taking it up the middle. A nice pursuit by Richmond-Burton. Boy, he looked like he was down on that play.
He was not on the surface, but he was on a tackler that should be, I thought, down by contact.
I thought so.
From the 43. 1st and 10. Richmond-Burton's in business again. Zarnsdorf hemmed up and corralled. And now Moweaqua Central's defense really is going to be called to do yeoman's duty. They know they cannot afford the Rockets to score anymore. They're down by 14 as it is. As Zarnsdorf comes back, bothered by the flu a little bit earlier this week, and maybe his endurance might not be what it may have been in midseason.
That's right. We may want to keep an eye on as this game grows on. But right now, Moweaqua was forced into a position where they're going to need to force a fumble, turnover of some kind.
2nd down and long. Pauly upended. Looked like it was Brandon Barnes, the defensive end, the 6'3 senior, that upended Pauly as he tried to shoot outside the left side. Barnes does a good job playing on the tight end, but also is good on underneath coverage.
Good look right there of Chad Houchins, a little shaken up on that play. Limping a little bit on his left leg. Not really sure if it's his knee or his ankle. We'll have to keep an eye on that for you, as the official's going to take a timeout to look at him.
Houchins favoring what looks to be his left foot or left ankle. And the officials seeing that, they're going to go ahead and send him out of the game. That for his own protection.
That's a great call by the official. I know he wants to stay in the football game, but take him out for a play and let him recover.
There you see for the season 2 catches on the year. Eric Schuster will go in at his strong side linebacker position on 3rd and 7. From the Moweaqua Central A&M 40-yard line. 6.5 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. Richmond-Burton leading by 14. They fake that toss. Christensen's in trouble, and he is dropped for a loss back at the 50-yard line. Derek Simpson dropped him for a big loss of 10 yards.
78, Derek Simpson did the honors.
They all came on that play, even though they showed a tight formation.
Exactly right. And Derek Simpson plays his defensive end very well as we see the quarterback, Jeff Christensen, drop back. And look at the black shirts around him as he slammed to the football field.
So it's 4th down. 17 yards to go as Simpson celebrates his sack. Under 6 minutes now. On 4th down. Back to punt is Dennis. Gets it away. And Ryan Helm takes it on a bounce and is able to get it back up to the 25-yard line as the Moweaqua Central defense dodged a big bullet. 5:39 to go, 3rd quarter. They trail by 14. Back with more on Sports Channel. Back at ISU's Hancock Stadium, let's go down to the sidelines and our Joe Passion.
Well, Tom, there is a difference here in footballs and how the teams are playing with them, as well as the kind of balls they're playing with. Now, you notice the bottom football I have here is a leather Rawlings football, which is used by the offense here for the Raiders. Now, the Rockets, meanwhile, are using a Boyd rubber football on offense, and right now, rubber is winning over leather in this Class 2A championship game. Back upstairs.
Just another one of the little bitty nuances. Team feels more comfortable with one football. That's what they're going to stay with. It's 1st down, Moweaqua. And stop called at 25-yard line was the fullback, Tim Thrasher. But I tell you what, you got to hand it to Moweaqua's defense. Only turnover of the game. A chance for Richmond-Burton to break this game wide open. And they played inspired football.
They really have, but we're going to see what their offense is made out of right here as they're faced with a 2nd and long, and Richmond-Burton is just dominating the line, and that's something we talked about early in the game.
Even though they are definitely at a size disadvantage. 2nd down, Helm to throw, throws it out. Nice grab by Barnes. Can he go all the way? If he can get a block. He is down inside the 30-yard line. Mike Dennis saved the touchdown. He has been a go-to guy all season long. Brandon Barnes had 35 catches out of 73 completions thrown by Helm. It went for 44 yards.
Ryan Helm does not even try to hide who he's trying to throw the football to. As once again, he throws to Brandon Barnes, and I would throw to him too if he's going to pull it in like that. And he almost takes this one all the way as Mike Dennis makes the touchdown-saving tackle.
Big time catch. 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line. Etherton goes in motion. Handoff up the gut. Brad Kaufman stopped for no gain. B.G. Hunter, the defensive left end, makes the stop as Brad Kaufman really has worked well in improving his inside running.
That's right. He's not really a big back. Goes about 155, 5'10", 155, but shows he can run inside a little bit too.
And 26 touchdowns he has scored this year.
That's a career for a lot of people, I mean to tell you.
2nd down and 10 from the 30. Helm again, and right through the hands of Brian Barnes at the 20-yard line. He was open. Toller was in the vicinity, but if Barnes hangs on, they've got another completion. So far, Barnes, though, averaging nearly 20 yards a catch on his 3 receptions.
It's not too bad, and let's give some credit to Ryan Helm as well. He has put the ball on the target most of the afternoon.
We were watching them warm up inside the Horton Fieldhouse next door, and Helm looked very comfortable throwing, and I thought Barnes had good physique for a receiver.
You know, 6'3", 165 pounds. I would throw to him as well if I was the quarterback.
Here's Helms on a screen. He gets it to Kaufman. Kaufman's got a block. He is down to the 7-yard line before Mike Dennis, the safety, stopped him. Good downfield blocking on the screen by Moweaqua Central A&M, and they're knocking on the door. And they score here, they're right back in it.
That's right. This is a great call by Moweaqua here when you got a defense that's pursuing like Richmond-Burton is. Run a little screen or a draw. This time they elect the screen as Brad Kaufman takes it down all the way inside the 10-yard line.
66 yards out of this drive has come through the air. The 44-yard catch by Barnes, and this time the screen to Kaufman for 22. It's at the 8, 1st and goal. Here's Kaufman. Dragging tacklers to the 4-yard line as as he picks up 4 yards, bringing up 2nd and goal. B.G. Hunter and Jody Swiderski on the stop for Richmond-Burton. As Kaufman smelling perhaps touchdown number 27 on the year. He's averaging nearly 9 yards a carry on the season.
That's unbelievable. And this is 4-down territory for Moweaqua. I would not expect them to go for a field goal if they are faced with a 4th down. They are going to definitely go for it.
They're down by 14. Helm keeping, pitches it out. Strung out well by Richmond-Burton, and they throw it for a 1-yard loss at the 5-yard line. Great lateral pursuit by the Richmond-Burton defense with Tom Jastrab making the stop.
It's an excellent pursuit right here by Brian Stedman, as you'll see number 35 coming into your picture, forcing Ryan Helm to toss it a little bit late to Brad Kaufman. We thought if he gets it to him a little earlier, Kaufman might go into the end zone.
Mike Dennis also there, really the first man to get to him for the Rockets. It's 3rd and goal from the 5. Helm has nothing left. Throws as he goes down. It's caught down at the 2-yard line is Chad Houchins, the tight end. Mike Dennis again on the stop. What a job by Helm. He was going down and still got a sidearm pass out to Chad Houchins, who makes his 14th catch of the year.
That's right. Ryan Helm shows his athletic ability. Chad Houchin is nowhere in this pattern at all. He's basically a blocker here on the backside, but he sees Ryan Helm running for his life, and he's forced to catch the football short of the touchdown.
And the tackle there brings up 4th and goal as head coach Mark Ramsey talks it over with his quarterback Ryan Helm. The game may hinge right here. 2:13 to go in the 3rd quarter. 20-6. Richmond-Burton with the lead. They've got to get 6 or 7 here, or 8.
That's right. You know, with 2 minutes, 2:13 here in the 3rd quarter, there is another whole quarter to play, but they need to get in here to force, you know,
the running game really shortens up this game. In other words, you talk about having an entire quarter left. Maybe in college it would be a ton of time when you throw the ball more, but when you run the ball like these two teams, that really shortens the game up, and you don't have as much time as you think you do.
That's exactly right. That's the point I was trying to make, and I cut myself off there. But you don't want to give the ball back to Richmond-Burton, who can control the ball 5 or 6, 7 minutes on you.
We got your brain for illegal motion on that.
You're exactly right.
4th and goal. Helm into the end zone. Broken up nicely by the linebacker, Jody Swiderski. He kind of tried to guide that pass in there. He didn't really get a lot on it, and he gave lots of time for Swiderski to break to the ball and break up the play.
That's a great call. I think if he puts a little more zip on this ball, Chad Houchins will be able to bring this one in, as we'll see it once again. Ryan Helm, nice little play action, and you see Richmond-Burton bringing a couple of their outside linebackers, and that's just a nice play by Jody Swiderski.
There's also watching as you watch the battle again between Swiderski and Houchins. And really, Helm didn't have a lot of time. He just threw because that's all he had to do. He had to throw quickly to avoid being hit. So it's 1st down for Richmond-Burton as Zarnsdorf is upended at the 5-yard line. Well, we've had some acrobatic tackles so far through this 2A title game.
That really was. I think this is probably the hit of the day that we've seen so far. Brad Kaufman comes up and really puts a stick on Matt Zarnsdorf right there.
It'll be a long 7 yards to go on 2nd down from the 5-yard line. If Richmond-Burton puts together a long time-consuming drive here, they can just about salt it away. 1.5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. They're showing blitz. Just a quick running play up the middle. Pauly just trying to get some room to work with. Just gets a couple of yards, if any.
If you're Moweaqua, you have got to stop him right here. We have 1:21 here left in the 3rd quarter. You want to force a punt to get that ball back immediately. You cannot let Richmond-Burton go down the field and take time off of this clock.
Field position crucial right now for Moweaqua Central A&M, and Mark Ramsey sees that. This defense can stop them here on 4 downs and get a punt. They'll probably get the ball maybe inside the 50-yard line. Under a minute now for the 3rd quarter. 3rd down and 6. And did they take too much time? I don't think they got the play off in time. And that will make it even tougher now for Richmond-Burton to get a first.
Offense, kind of like half the distance to the goal, still 3rd down.
I think Jeff Christensen, the quarterback for Richmond-Burton, saw Chad Houchins and Jason Burkhardt coming up on the line of scrimmage as linebackers. He was maybe switching to an audible and got caught with a little short right there in time. Therefore, the penalty of 5 yards, which will be half the distance.
Back to the 3, setting up 3rd down and 9 yards to go. As Randy Hoffman talked it over with Mike Dennis. 3rd and long. Pauly breaks a tackle at the 1-yard line and just is able to get it out to about the 3. Moweaqua was coming hard, trying to maybe strip the ball free, or maybe even stuff him in the end zone for a safety. Brad Kaufman making the stop on the play, brings a 4th down, and Moweaqua should come out of this with pretty good field position. They really were. That was a nice initial hit there by John Gerhold. Almost tackled the ball carrier in the end zone, but this will force a 4th and long, and Moweaqua, like you said, will get excellent field position. So take a look. What wind there is here is at the back of the Rockets. Very surprised that they're going to run the clock out right here. You would think they'd want to punt with the wind, but they're going to elect to punt the other way into the wind. So the 3rd quarter comes to an end here at Hancock Stadium in our battle for the IHSA 2A State Football Championship. The Rockets right now leading by 14. Back in the 2A title game, getting ready to go to the 4th quarter, but lots of action yet to go here today. As in the 3A title, Mike Lederman and Jack McInerney will have the Battle of the Indians, Marengo and DuQuoin, and then Steve and I will be back at 7 o'clock tonight as Oswego and Geneseo battle for the 4A state title. The big day of football action, and 2 more state champions will be crowned tomorrow. Richmond-Burton back to punt. Mike Dennis almost back to the end line, and he shanked it. It bounces at the 24. They'll let it roll. Ryan Helm takes it and is dropped back at the 36-yard line. A gambler there, Ryan Helm, and going for a bouncing football. And you could hear the way it thudded off of Dennis's foot. A punt of only 29 yards, a minus 3-yard return. That's really a heads-up play by Ryan Helm. I thought that ball had a potential that it could roll a lot, take a chance, stop that ball, and get good field position, and he did just that. They have the ball here on the 34-yard line with a lot of time left. Moweaqua was rushed for only 52 yards on the day. Richmond-Burton 181 yards on the ground. 1st down, penalty markers fly on the snap of the ball as Thrasher battles hard, gets to about the 29-yard line before Jody Swiderski and Matt Zarnsdorf combine on the tackle. But let's sort out the yellow penalty markers as we're early in the 4th quarter. This one will come back. Neil Barding, number 34 for Moweaqua, got a little head start there and will get an illegal motion penalty to bring it back 5. Both these schools, by the way.
Illegal motion on the offense, 5-yard penalty, 3 first down.
Both these schools have got basketball games tonight back home. In fact, I believe it was the Richmond-Burton. One of these only has 8 players available for tonight's game. I'm sure with the smaller schools like this, a lot of these football players probably play on the basketball team as well. But they want that state championship first. On 1st down, looking for Kaufman, broken up by Dennis. At the last moment, Kaufman looking. He had a step on his defender, but Dennis did a great job as the free safety and coming over to break on the ball. He really does, and Ryan Helm throws this one up for grabs right here. He did see Brad Kaufman down the middle. He looks like he's wide open, but Mike Dennis was kind of sizing him up a little bit and made a nice defensive play. He had a linebacker on him, Frank Pauly, and had a step behind him, but Dennis showing good speed, good range in there to make the acrobatic breakup. So far, Helm thrown for 150 yards. 115, I should say, as Brandon Barnes was open and dropped the football at the 32-yard line. It was defended very loosely by the free safety, Jeff Toller. Richmond-Burton continues to give Brandon Barnes a lot of room on the outside. Brandon just a little too wide open there. It goes right through his hands. I think he looks upfield here right at the last moment. You can see him looking upfield, and it goes right through his hands for an incompletion. He saw his head turn. He took his eyes off the football and drops it. So it brings up 3rd and 15 back at the 39. 11:19 to go here in the 4th quarter, the 2A state championship game. Screen pass, Kaufman. He has a 1st down. He's close to the 20-yard line. Mike Dennis makes the stop, but a big call on 3rd and long.
nicely executed screen pass by Moweaqua Central A&M.
It's the second time that Moweaqua was elected to go to this play. Richmond-Burton is really pursuing very well right now. Go with the screen or a draw, like we mentioned. And that time they elected the screen, and once again, it picks up a big first down to get it down to the 21.
18 yards on the screen pass. They're at the 21, first down for the Raiders of Moweaqua Central A&M. Held off the play action, right through the hands of Jay Giles at the goal line. Defended on the play by Dennis.
It's a very well thrown ball right here by Ryan Helm. A little bit off the back foot, so it tends to sail on him. You can see him throwing kind of a sidearm gunslinger throw, and the ball just goes through Jay Giles' arm, and they will be forced with a second and long.
Second down, 10 yards to go. Yeah, he tends to kind of come up throwing from his hip.
Throws like old Kenny Stabler used to throw, right there from the sidearm.
Second down, 10 minutes, 50 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. Thrasher and Kaufman in the backfield, a quick out. There's the catch by Barnes. He stretches out for as much as he can get. He gets inside the 15. Jeff Toller, though, held on to make sure he didn't get any more after the catch. It'll bring up third down and about 3 yards to go. They haven't had the success on the ground that I thought maybe Moweaqua Central thought they might have. Of course, they came in thinking they'd have to throw the football more, but I think they've thrown more than even they thought they'd have to. Third and short. Helm flushed out of the pocket, throws across, and it is intercepted in the end zone by Dennis. He's going to bring it out. As the receiver fell down at the goal line, Dennis is out of bounds at the 18-yard line. Jay Giles, the intended receiver, went down. The Moweaqua Central fans looking for a yellow flag, but I think he fell. He just got his legs twisted up and fell on his own accord.
That's right. An excellent no call here by the official as Ryan Helm throws this one up for grabs again. Jay Giles looks like he's there, but the feet, they just tangle up a little bit. Mike Dennis pulls that one in and makes a nice return after the interception.
And they'll spot the ball at the 18-yard line. And both turnovers now taken away by the Richmond-Burton defense. The Rockets with the football. Pauly puts both hands around the football, hits off the right side, and is maybe able to get back to the 20-yard line. Bringing up second down. We're under 10 minutes now for the fourth quarter. Tom Stalker, Steve Mays with you. The 2A state championship game right now. Richmond-Burton protecting a 14-point lead. They lead 20-6. Let's also keep an eye and see if Richmond-Burton milks as much out of the play clock every time they can. Second down from the 20. He's going to work the play clock down to 5 seconds before getting the snap. Pauly dives over the right side. They may be getting a little too conservative, though, right here.
Exactly. I'm real impressed with Jeff Christensen, the quarterback for Richmond-Burton, though. The kid steps into a starting job at quarterback. Here he finds himself in the state championship game, and he's handled this team extremely well, really watching the clock, running the clock down, doing a good job mixing things up. He's played an exceptional game.
There you see Dennis bringing in the play to Christensen. Christensen has shown a lot of poise and confidence in this winning streak that has brought them to the title game and now finds them in front. Counter play to Dennis. Face mask penalty will be coming up as he is brought down by Barnes, who definitely had a hand on the face mask as he stopped him shy of the 20-yard line for a loss on the play, but they'll pick up at least 5.
Brandon Barnes arguing to the official that he actually has it on the top of the helmet right there. But Brandon, it doesn't matter. Once you get your hands up near the helmet, they're going to call that one every time.
They'll pick up the call, and it's going to be a major.
And defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
First down. That gets it out from the shadow of the goalpost from the 22 all the way out to about the 33-yard line. Christensen with over 8 yards per carry. He's carried the ball 7 times and has scored 1 of their 3 touchdowns. 1st and 10 from the 33. Play clock now down at 9. And he's going to bring it down and then hands it off. Zarnsdorf, who hasn't been as busy in the second half as he was in the first half, still pops it free to the 40-yard line. He gets 7 quick yards.
That's how valuable having 3 or 4 running backs that can carry the ball for you are. Right there, they were running Frank Pauley a lot there early in the third quarter. Now they go back to Zarnsdorf, and he should be in top condition right now, and he's just running the football well for him. Good look at him.
And they beat Peoria Notre Dame without him. He was hurt, did not play that game. 2nd and short from the 40. Under 8 minutes now for the 4th quarter. They show blitz. Zarnsdorf spins down, but he has the first down. Close to the 44-yard line, picked up about 4. Neil Barding on the stop, the free safety.
I'll tell you, I wouldn't be surprised if Matt Zarnsdorf breaks one right here. Once you get through the first line of pursuit by Moweaqua, you know, they have 9 or 10 men on the line of scrimmage. You're gone. And if they don't make the tackle right away, Zarnsdorf's going to be gone.
They get the first down. It's 1st and 10 up the 43-yard line. And with every tick of the clock, it works against Moweaqua Central A&M. They scored on their first possession of the game, but haven't scored since. And Richmond-Burton has taken control here in the second half. Zarnsdorf, he can't shake free as he is brought down by Barding, who drops him all the way back inside the 40-yard line, back to the 39-yard line, a loss of 4.
Loss on the play.
And now Moweaqua's got to gamble a little bit on defense.
Back to the 39.
That's exactly right. They got to start trying to take some chances, bring cornerback, bring a linebacker, start stripping the football. They need a turnover. We only have 6:48 left in this football game.
When you have a defense that's going to gamble, even though Richmond may not be a great passing team, this may be the chance here to catch him. 6.5 minutes left to go, 4th quarter. Just keeping his helm. He's got a first down. He's across the 50, all the way down to the 44-yard line. He saw something.
That's exactly right. This has to be an audible that Jeff Christensen makes. We'll get a good end zone view of this one. He sees that he has a man advantage over the middle, and Jeff Christensen just takes it and picks up a huge first down for Richmond-Burton.
Boy, did B.G. Hunter fire out and block off that linebacker. He saw that he had plenty of real soft spot on the defense there right over the middle.
I think we might be seeing a Moweaqua defense a little bit tired right now. They've been on the field a lot, and a lot of those players go both ways.
That was an 18-yard gain, and Christensen's now carried for more than 9 yards per carry. First down, Zarnsdorf. You can hear the contact as he slams down to about the 37-yard line. Neil Barding again makes the stop. And we talked about Barding making a lot of stops at the line of scrimmage during the year, one of the reasons why he's one of their top tacklers. But now he's making the tackles a lot farther back in the secondary.
That's right. You don't want to be the leading tackler when you're making them in the secondary. And I'll tell you, Matt Zarnsdorf looked as fresh as he did in the first quarter. He's just running over people and running through arm tackles.
They gave him a break during that third period.
They did, exactly.
Paulie got he got the bulk of the work in the third quarter. Maybe again a case of Zarnsdorf battling the flu bug.
That's right. A little help by Mike Dennis there in the third quarter as well.
Second down. And about 5 yards to go. Nothing there at all. Paulie trying to go over the middle. The nose guard, Tim Thrasher, was able to stop him. As we near the 5-minute mark. Okay, Neil Barding, you see, gets the defensive signals from the Moweaqua Central bench. Something happened defensively here quick. They're running out of time, under 5 minutes. Third down, 4. Well, they've got 9 men up on the line. Zarnsdorf hit hard by Barnes. Yeah, they're close to first down yardage. They had to get the ball inside the 34. But I don't think. Nope, they spotted at the 35. It'll bring up 4th and 1.
And I would expect Richmond-Burton to go for it here. No reason to punt. You've been able to pick up 4 and 5 yards at will. Go for it here on 4th down.
4 minutes, 15 seconds. You see the clock in the corner. Time running out there on Mark Ramsey and the Raiders. 4th and 1 at the 35. And Richmond-Burton calls a timeout, and we'll take a break ourselves. 4 minutes and 5 seconds to go in the battle for the 2A championship. Richmond-Burton with the ball, leading by 14.
Be sure to watch. Other state champions earn their titles.
Tom Stocker, Steve Mays with you. We've got 4 minutes and 5 seconds remaining in the 2A title game. Let's go to the sidelines. Joe Passion.
Jay Giles, number 32 of the Raiders. Remember, he was the receiver that pass interception in the end zone was intended for, got tripped up. Tells me here, though, on the sidelines that he and his teammates are not giving up. They've got confidence in their defense. They feel they're still in this game with 4 minutes left. Not a team that's ready to give up at this juncture. Back upstairs, fellas.
This drive started all the way back at the 18-yard line. This is the 11th play. It is 4th and 1. Richmond's averaging nearly 5 yards every time they run the football. 4th and short. And penalty markers fly. Plenty of time on the play clock. And looks like somebody was lined up in the neutral zone, and it looks like it's going to be a free first down. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Equipment problem. There we go. An equipment problem. And it's going to be a free first down. Let's see if we can pick up the call.
The unsportsmanlike conduct on the defense, calling signal while the offense is talking.
Well, you heard it. The defense for Moweaqua Central was calling signals, trying to confuse the center, B.G. Hunter, and the big unsportsmanlike conduct penalty.
Yeah, we knew that wasn't going to be an encroachment or an illegal motion because a line judge did not make the call. One of the back judges made that call, and he heard something coming out of the Moweaqua defensive secondary and called that. Huge penalty for Richmond-Burton.
It's all the way down to the 20-yard line, 1st and 10. And Zarnsdorf doesn't find much room at all as he tries to hit off right guard. Stop for no gain at the 20-yard line. But that 15-yard penalty there just might be the final straw.
A very interesting point on that last penalty. You have to be given 2 warnings prior to making that call, and evidently the official's been paying attention to that, and on the 3rd time you are penalized, and he called the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, and that was a huge penalty in Richmond-Burton's favor.
3.5 minutes left to go. You see, it's been a relatively penalty-free game, only 8 penalties all game. 2nd down and 10. Here's Pauly, who took out a defender head-on, spun off him, and gets to about the 19-yard line. Jason Burkhart, the linebacker, makes the stop. Their leading tackler on the year. Pauly missed the season opener against Cuba City, Wisconsin, with an injury, and also later in the year separated his shoulder in the loss to Genoa Kingston. A loss they avenged in the playoffs as they met their conference foe once again on the road here to Bloomington Normal. 2:45 to go. 3rd and 9 from the Moweaqua Central A&M 19. Nice fake by Christensen, but the Raiders defense didn't buy. They drop him for a loss back at the 25-yard line. A host of black jerseys were there, including his quarterback counterpart, the strong safety Ryan Helm. Probably a little venting of frustration for Ryan, too. Remember, of course, it was Christensen who beat him, the last defender, on that 40-yard touchdown run earlier this half.
That's right. So when he got the next chance to put a hit on Jeff Christensen, he was going to do it, and he did it just right there.
This is the 15th play of this drive. The ball is on the Central A&M 21. This drive began all the way back at the 18-yard line. Remember, set up by the interception by Mike Dennis in the end zone. Zarnsdorf is stopped by Neil Barding at the 19, so the ball will go over on downs, and one last chance for the Raiders of Central A&M with 1:49 to go. They're down by 14. If nothing else, even though Richmond-Burton didn't score, that drive did exactly what they wanted to do, eat up a lot of clock.
That's right. I'm sure they were looking to score, but more than that, they wanted to take a lot of time off, and they were able to do that.
Out of the shotgun, Helm gets it out to Barnes. They're looking for a quick score any way they can get it. He gets it up to the 30-yard line. Ryan Stedman on the stop. No huddle for Central A&M. It's 2nd down and 1. Spread formation. Helm out of the shotgun. Sidearms it out. Catch made. Is it complete? Giles lost the ball as soon as he was hit, but yes, they're going to give him the catch, and he is up to the 37-yard line, gets a first down. Brian Stedman with a good hit there on the sidelines. Once again, Central A&M going with no huddle. Their dreams of an undefeated season in the state championship coming down to the last minute 14 of this game. Middle screen, the catch made. And to the near side, out of the 41-yard line. The catch made by Eric Schuster. Second-string tailback, Dennis and Stedman combined to bump him out of bounds. But he gets out of bounds to stop the clock with 1:08 left to go.
That's right. He did a good job by getting out of bounds. He caught that ball near the hash mark and made an excellent effort to get out of bounds to stop the clock here for a second long play.
Richmond really dropping back its defense. 2nd and 7. Through the hand of Barnes, who's had some good catches today, but that's about 3 now that he should have caught.
Moweaqua was really wanting to run that play right there. They're doing a little hook and ladder. They're a little pass to Brandon Barnes, and then he was going to try and pitch that one to Brad Kaufman, but Brandon didn't make the catch and wasn't able to pitch it.
That last Richmond drive, by the way, we have now been told, took 8 minutes and 14 seconds. Over 3/4 of a quarter. 3rd down. Helm being chased. He fumbles the football. Picked up on the bounce by Swiderski. And he has it, and Richmond-Burton has it at the 34-yard line, and that should do it with 55 seconds remaining. They celebrate across the way over there in Rocket Land.
Ryan Helm really had no chance of seeing this defender, but once you pull that ball down and going to take off running, you better put 2 hands on it. And we'll see Ryan Helm forced out of the pocket by excellent pursuit. And a nice hit right there by, who got that initial hit? Looked like Matt Zarnsdorf.
Well, Swiderski got the football. Right spot, right time, and he returned it 10 yards after recovering the fumble. And it's at the 35-yard line, and dejected Ryan Helm now has to go back and play defense. 36 seconds to go. Richmond-Burton leads by 14. Hawley hit immediately and bulldogged down by the big defensive lineman Derek Simpson. 21 seconds to go, and they'll stop the clock. Central A&M calls one of their remaining timeouts. They still have 2 left.
This is really an unbelievable job here by Richmond-Burton, a team that comes in unranked. You know, lose 3 of your first 5 games. To make it to the state championship is one thing, but another to win it. And, you know, with 20 seconds left and a 20-6 lead, unbelievable year by Richmond-Burton.
Well, after beating a good Cuba City, Wisconsin team in early September, they went out and beat Peoria Notre Dame. We've talked about that. And that's when Randy Hoffman said, we just might have another one of those teams, and all of a sudden the roof fell in. Marengo beat them 16-12. Of course, Marengo, they're here in the title games this weekend, and they were a playoff team last year. And that rattled them. They lost to Harvard 29-14, and then they really became unglued, losing to Genoa Kingston 20-0. That's the game where Christensen was carried off the field on a stretcher. But after that, they went back. They scrapped the passing game, went more to the wing tee. They also got the new field dedicated at home. Teamwork, not taxes. And it's been a magical carpet ride ever since for Richmond-Burton. 20 seconds ago, going down to one knee was Jeff Christensen. And I tell you what, Richmond-Burton, clock stop with 15 seconds left to go. Take a look. They got Christensen, a junior. Raz Rasmussen, a junior. They've got Toller back. They've got the foundation for a respectable team next year, and they'll most likely, it looks like, enter the 1993 season as the defending 2A champions. 15 seconds left. They lead by 14.
That's right. They will have an excellent foundation to start next year with. A lot of their skilled people will be coming back. You know, they're going to lose a lot of their senior offensive linemen, but you can always get linemen. And when you have skilled people come back, that's a nice place to start.
And how about Randy Hoffman, the coach of Richmond-Burton? 5 times he's seen his team knocked out by the Hartleib gang at Woodstock Marion. He's been in the playoff 11 times. They've been to the semifinals twice. Both times they were undefeated going to the semifinals. And here a team that's lost 3 is going to bring him home his first championship as Christensen goes down to one knee. 10 seconds left. They're celebrating already. Can they stop the clock? No. They can't stop the clock. Here come the Rockets streaming out to the field. There is Coach Hoffman, and they've done it.
We don't even need to talk about that when the crowd's doing all the talking for us. A bunch of happy guys there for Richmond-Burton.
And of course, what a season it has been for the Raiders of Central A&M. Not losing until the final game of their 1992 season. So after starting 2-3, 9 straight wins has given that man that right there, Randy Hoffman, his first state championship in his 13th season at Richmond-Burton. Let's go down to our sideline man, Joe Passion.
Interesting story here, fellows, as you've been saying all afternoon about Moweaqua. Well, what does Moweaqua mean? It's actually a name. It's a story of a legend. See, the Kickapoo Indians originally were settled in the area in northeastern Illinois, where, of course, Central A&M High School is from. Moweaqua is the name of a squaw, and it means woman who weeps. And she was weeping for a child of hers who was killed by a wolf. Well, they're weeping here today, but for different reasons. Back upstairs.
Back to bring you the awards assembly here for the 2A title game, as Richmond-Burton has won it by the score of 20-6. There it is. There's what they battled for all season long, and it's about to go to the Rockets of Richmond-Burton out of the Big Northern Conference, a conference they've won 10 of the last 11 years, and they bring home their first ever state championship. There's Ryan Helm. No reason for Central A&M to, it's obviously their disappointment will show through for not winning the state title, but what a tremendous year that school has had, led by that young man.
Exactly right. He led them to 13 victories this year, and that's just an excellent year for them. Nothing to hang their heads about. This game, Richmond-Burton was just a little bit better as we see them celebrating.
And there comes head coach Mark Ramsey. 8th consecutive year that Moweaqua, and now Moweaqua Central A&M, has been in the playoffs. They come one game shy, but take home the second-place trophy.
And the captains of runner-up Central A&M on the platform. We will begin the ceremony. This special medallion was presented to Principal Grigg, and these individual awards will be presented to Coach Ramsey and his team captains by Mr. Mitz. And now for the trophy presentation, presenting the second place trophy to the Raiders of Central A&M High School, who finished the season at 13-1, is Mr. Mitz. Mr. Mitz, if you please. Congratulations to Central A&M High School, this year's second place finisher in Class 2A. And now will Principal Luis Ramirez, Coach J. Randy Hoffman, and the captains of state champion Richmond-Burton please join the presenters on the awards platform. Ladies and gentlemen, this special medallion is presented to Principal Ramirez, and these individual awards will be presented to Coach Hoffman and his team captains by Mr. Stinson. And now, this year's state championship trophy in Class 2A will be presented to the Rockets of Richmond-Burton High School, who finished the season at 11-3. Mr. Stinson is making the trophy presentation, and congratulations to Richmond-Burton High School, this year's state champion in Class 2A.
We will be back with more and interview Coach Hoffman, the winning coach of today's 2A championship game, right after this.
The Rockets of Richmond-Burton add another great chapter to their football tradition. They bring home their first ever state championship with a 20-6 win over Moweaqua Central A&M. Let's go down to the sidelines and Joe Passion.
Well, defense has been the name of the game for Coach Hoffman. 5 straight playoff games. You've only given up 6 points. Congratulations.
Well, I guess 6 has been a lucky number for us on defense, Joe. Yeah, we're just so real happy for the community. We've been close so many times. This was for all the alumni and the kids this year. We just did a tremendous job in that we were 2-3 at one time, Joe, and everyone thought we were going to be dead. We came back, won 9 in a row, and it's just about the happiest moment in my life right now.
Well, I think one statistic, Jay, Randy, that can we talk a little bit about that will stand out historically. You're the only Class 2A team ever to win a state championship since the '74 series started to have 3 losses. That tells a lot about the character of your team.
Well, it sure does. Like I say, a lot of people thought we were done with, halfway through the season. And these kids, we aren't big, but boy, they have a lot of heart. They went out there, Joe, and they threw their hearts out in the football field today. And I'm just so very happy for them.
The 2 turnovers there later in the game really kind of took all the sauce that was left out of the Raiders.
Well, yes, it did, and we did a good job, I think, of milking the clock at the end, but you can't take anything away from the Raiders. They had a fantastic season. They won 13 games, and not too many high school teams get a chance to do that.
Key characteristic, Coach Hoffman, of your team this year, thing that really struck them out of the 2-3, and all of a sudden, here they are with a state championship trophy.
Boy, all I can say is these kids they just showed a lot of guts and character coming back, because when you're 2-3, I guess what we talked about all year is sometimes a team goes through adversity like that, and then they come back and they become stronger than they were before. And that's what we did. We had a lot of adversity, we had a lot of injuries, and then we came back with a burning desire to become better than we ever were before, ever at Richmond-Burton.
And now you are. Congratulations, Coach. Enjoy the celebration.
Unbelievable. Thanks a lot, Joe.
All right. A great job here by this 2A champion. And let's send it back upstairs now to Tom and Steve.
So indeed, like Mark Twain, the reports of Richmond-Burton's demise at 2-3 were greatly premature and exaggerated. What a tremendous comeback for this team this year. And I tell you what, if you had to award MVPs, you talk about Matt Zarnsdorf. He was able to really come up with the workhorse ground game, but then Christensen came up with a big play.
He really did, and I think you could even throw a third MVP in there, the Richmond-Burton defense. Let's face it, Moweaqua went right down on them their first possession and scored on them. And then here for 3.5 quarters, they couldn't move the ball. So I'd have to give an MVP to that defense as well.
Obviously not as impressive statistically as their semifinal win over Aledo, but they shut down a pretty good offensive club.
I'll tell you, you got a quarterback who threw for 1,200 yards, a running back that ran for 1,700. They shut them down today, there's no doubt.
And how about that small but scrappy offensive line for Richmond-Burton?
We thought that would be one of the keys, and it definitely proved to be so. Richmond-Burton just dominated the line of scrimmage, and that's why they won this football game.
We will be back with more from Hancock Stadium as our coverage continues. The 2A state championships coming your way exclusively on Sports Channel. Very first drive of the game, Moweaqua Central A&M took it 67 yards in 14 plays, and Scored on a 8-yard reception by Barnes, and then coming right back on their next drive, it was Richmond-Burton going 10 plays, 56 yards, 4.5 minutes. 3 big carries by Zarnsdorf, his 14-yard touchdown run, and the 2-point conversion gave them the lead for good. And it looked like we're going to have one of those games back and forth. And then finally, late in the second quarter, the 12-yard touchdown catch, Christensen to Dennis, 2-point try, no good. They took a drive almost 5 minutes, and then they put it on ice. The broken play, Christensen slipping as he went down to pass, and then was able to snap off a 40-yard touchdown run. They went for 2, but they win by 14, and they got some big plays today. Their defense played solid. Both teams have a lot to be proud of for this 1992 season.
Exactly right, and that broken play touchdown by Jeff Christensen might have been the big play of this football game. Really seemed to turn the momentum in the favor of Richmond-Burton, and therefore they pulled out a 20-6 victory.
So that'll about wrap it up for this 2A title. Of course, we have more action coming your way tonight with 3A and 4A, with 5A and 6A being crowned tomorrow. And let's go down one last time to our sideline colleague, Joe Passion.
Thanks very much, Tom. One thing that we can notice here about the first-class games that we've seen here, 1A and 2A, is the speed factor. Again, the AstroTurf here has been dry this morning. It doesn't expect to rain or snow later today, so this turf will remain dry for tonight's game. And we're seeing the great quickness of these young kids who, once they get on turf with turf shoes, really show their great quickness upfield. Defensively, we're also seeing players stay with their receivers, and that's made for some great impact, great hitting on the part of all the teams that we've seen here already this morning. And again, I want to emphasize the fact, first time a 2A school has ever won a state championship game with 3 losses. Says a heck of a lot about the character of this ball club that came back. The Rockets, an early season collapse, but they end up on a real high note with a state championship. Back upstairs now to Tom and Steve.
Well, we thought we'd see the sun today. They've only seen the sun for 18 hours total the last 29 days here in Central Illinois, but I think the kids on the field really brightened our day and gave us a heck of a battle.
That's exactly right, and what a way to have a Thanksgiving holiday for Richmond-Burton. Come out with a state championship, got full bellies, they take home a state championship trophy. Very happy for them. But on the other side, Moweaqua had a great season and nothing to hang their heads about.
So we cap off our 2A championship. 2 champions have been crowned. More coming your way. With tonight at 4:30, it's the Battle of the Indians, Marengo against DuQuoin. And then we'll be back, Steve and I, at 7 o'clock for the 4A battle. This promises to be a dandy. Oswego against Geneseo. That'll be live on Sports Channel Plus. The producer-director of our coverage has been Timothy J. Sutton. The remote facilities provided by Trio Video of Chicago. Our executive producer, Greg Bowman. Our sideline truck provided by Century Chevrolet Geo Nissan Hyundai of Bloomington Normal. Once again, our final score in 2A. The Rockets of Richmond-Burton 20, the Raiders of Moweaqua Central A&M 6. For Steve Mays, I'm Tom Stocker. Let's go now to Steve Cashel at our Sports Channel Report Studios.